In this video, we're going to be covering how to upload Mercury firmware to an ACM system and then apply that firmware to the LP series controllers. The first step in this process is you will be downloading the upgrade firmware files from the Avigilon Partner Portal. Once you've downloaded the files, they will be a CRC extension, and make sure you put those in a place that you can easily remember. Next step is to navigate over to ACM under Physical Access and then Panels. Go ahead and select one of your panels that will require an upgrade. You're going to select Firmware. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and you're going to click Add Firmware. You're now going to go in and choose the firmware files. So we're going to navigate to the location where we downloaded the CRC files. And we're going to go ahead and upload all of the firmware files for each type of controller. So you're going to have a firmware file for each type of LP series controller. So now that you've gone ahead and uploaded all of the firmware files, we want to navigate back to our panels so that we can verify the panel that we're going to be upgrading. So in my example, I'm going to be upgrading an LP1501 controller that's currently running version 1.27.5 of the firmware, and we're going to be upgrading this to 1.27.8. So same method, we're going to click on the controller or the panel itself. We're going to go into firmware, and we're going to select the LP1501 firmware. So you're going to select the firmware that corresponds to the LP or the intelligent controller that you're going to be upgrading. So 1502 would be 1502, 2500, 2500, 4502, 4502 here. So for this example, we're going to be upgrading the LP1501. So we're going to go ahead and click Apply. You're going to get a confirmation that you have sent firmware to this panel. We can go back and click the status of that panel, and you'll see that the firmware download is in progress to the panel. Now keep in mind that during the firmware upload to the panel will still be functional, but the panel will go into a reboot. So during that process, the panel will be offline and there won't be any access available at that panel itself. So now we've seen the panel has gone offline and it's finishing the upgrade of the firmware. When it's complete, it will come back online. Now that the panel is back online, we can see that the firmware is version 1.27.8, and we can check the status of our panel as well to verify that everything has been updated.